Charlie, say please. Say please. Say please. Charlie, say please.
It sounded like he was about to vomit. And with that, everyone, welcome to Unsolicited Advice. Closet
Doggy
edition. Oh. Closet edition with the dogs?
With the dog closet edition.
This is getting too complicated. I don't. Just roll the damn music. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unsolicited Advice. I'm Ashley.
I'm Taryn.
And again, this is Unsolicited Advice. If you guys haven't listened to our previous episodes, then you might not know that we are currently recording our episodes out of a closet.
Oh, Lord.
Because of the whole, world pandemic and stuff. So we, our studio was super sweet and lent us some equipment to record everything. So hopefully, we're keeping it up to par. We know it's not what we normally produce.
Yeah.
So we do apologize for that. But I feel like we're really figuring it out. We're making this work,
Yeah, no, totally. I feel like, honestly, our episodes have been great.
Yeah, I feel like the sound quality is a lot better. So, so thank you to the studio for that.
Imagine what it would have been like if we didn't have.
Oh, we literally would have not
voice
uploaded
memo?
Or would have been recording from our cell phones.
Yeah.
This is day 18 of quarantine.
Is it 18?
18 for us.
Oh.
Yeah, I've been keeping track. I have a whole calendar thing. So yeah, I've been keeping track, and we've been doing this for a while, and I'm actually really proud of us. No one's lost it yet.
No
one has gone and locked themselves in their rooms yet. No one's gotten into a fight yet. Knock on wood. Let's knock. Make sure we do that.
I held the mic so they can hear me.
Things are going pretty good for us. Actually, we're trying really hard to stay busy, to keep our routines going. And that's what Taryn, get your dog off my computer.
Charlie, come here. Last time, Charles, last time
Lord.
He was so chill and just laid in my lap and slept the whole time. And this time he's digging and running on Ashley's computer.
I can't.
But it'd be worse if he wasn't in here. He has a bit of separation anxiety still here. So when I'm not with him, he freaks out. So last time we were like, hey, TK and Alicia, can you guys watch Charlie and make sure he doesn't come up? And literally 2 seconds later, I was like, do you hear something? And Charlie was at the door Marr.
Yeah, Alicia and TK are both 3s on the Enneagram. They're very work oriented. So when it comes to stuff like that, it just, they don't think it's not a huge
if they're
priority.
Working, then they're
it's out their mind. They didn't even hear you basically. Which leads me to another thing. We are talking about having a little roommate edition episode next. There's 4 of us, and all 4 of us have podcasts. And we were like, what a better time
to be alive. Just kidding.
To get these girls on the podcast and us be on their podcast and do a whole, pod exchange. And just also they're just great people. They're really great to talk to. They both lead and live very interesting lives.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff for us to talk about. So I think we're going to be doing that. So get excited for that.
I'm excited. Well, also, we've been having a monthly guest, but really... Our options are slim right now.
We could call someone if we wanted to, but that's fun. True. Maybe, if this thing lasts longer, oh God, I hope not, knock on wood again.
Yeah.
Then we'll figure that out. But in the meantime, yes, Alicia Marie, TK, Juicy Pulls.
TK Juicy Pulls.
It would be a good time. How's quarantine been for you, Taryn?
Honestly, it's been fine. I feel... and I'm so sorry if anyone's shut up, but I feel super blessed just to be quarantined with my besties. And we've, like Ash said, we've all been pretty positive, or when we've had moments of not being positive, we're pretty good at talking it through. You kind of had a moment yesterday where I could tell. I was like, hey, you good? And you're like, I feel antsy. I'm trapped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I was trying really hard. I'm going to interrupt Darren.
No, do it.
I was trying really hard to make Sunday feel like Sunday. So my rule yesterday was that I wasn't going to work on anything. I wasn't going to edit. I wasn't even going to upload a picture on Instagram. I was going to be...
Just be.
I literally, that was my plan. And it was really hard. it was really, really hard because I couldn't go to church like I normally do. I couldn't go see my friends. I couldn't even go to brunch. I tried to make my own, like a typical Sunday for me is church and some kind of brunch. And so I ended up watching 2 church services online. Thank God for churches that are like,
oh my gosh, seriously,
putting their services online, because that like really helped it feel like Sunday. And then afterwards, I tried my hand at making protein pancakes, and for the first time in my life ever, they actually resembled pancakes.
No, girl, they looked delicious.
Was so proud of myself. I have never had them look so good in my life. So I tried to do the whole Sunday brunch thing, but then after that, it was like all downhill, and I didn't know what I was going to do with myself.
Well, wasn't that the pool day?
Yeah, also.
I was going to say there was something that kind of started the downward.
I was very excited because I wanted to lay out in the sun, bask in the sun, and it literally started raining on me.
I know.
It was like cloudy, but not cloudy enough to where I thought it would rain. And then I was like in the sun for 30 minutes. I pulled out, you guys, I'm going to paint the whole picture for you. I changed into my bathing suit. I had shorts on. I still had a sweatshirt on because it was chilly, but I had my thing. I don't like getting burnt, and I don't like sun on my face, so I had my full sun hat on. I had sunblock on. I was listening to a podcast. And I was laying in the grass. It was kind of chilly, but I was getting through it. And then it got really cold. So I was like, okay, so I have a hammock in my backyard. So I went and I was like, I'll just bundle up in the blanket and I'll lay in the hammock and finish the podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, eyes closed, wrapped in my blanket, listening to my podcast. And next thing I know, like I feel little droplets on my nose.
Yeah.
And I thought it has to be like the tree,
like tree
dropping,
sap or something.
Yeah, something like that. And then I noticed them more, and I look over and I see rain, and I was just like, well,
there goes my day.
Mother Nature's just not on my side today, so I had to pack up all my stuff. I went inside, and I was just like, it rained on me, and everyone laughed.
I know. It was it was such a mood, her walking in her bathing suit and sun hat, and so
devastated.
But yeah, I mean, honestly, like I think there's been moments, I don't know about you, but I've had moments where I feel anxiety start to rise up, and it's not because like I said, like I feel super blessed that I have things. I'm still like functioning, and I have a good support system, but it's the whole like I can't leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like the second you're told you can't do something, all of a sudden, all of a sudden it's like all you want to do is hike every single day. All that you want to do is go to the beach.
I have like a shoulder issue. So like my shoulder popped, and I was like, I'm having deja vu, but I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't go, I don't want to go to the hospital right now. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? So it's just like little things like that. I'm starting to really miss my family. Cause I was like seeing them, a couple times a week. So, my dad's birthday's coming up. It's like, it's starting to get to where there's like things that I'm like, okay, but like how much longer is this going to last?
Yeah. Alicia's birthday is in less than a week.
Yeah.
And I had a moment where I was like, oh shoot, like what are we going to do? Yeah. And then my dad's birthday is right after hers. And I was like, well, I can't see him. So that's not an option. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting month, but,
wait, don't move.
Why?
Because you hold the microphone so dainty. Don't move. I want to take a picture.
I'm trying to do it on purpose so my fingers don't make noise.
It's so cute. I'm going to post it. It's cute. Me, I'm just like grabbing it. It's cute, Ash. I like it.
Well, no, I'm self-conscious about it.
No, it's super cute because your nails like match your little PJ set. It's a cute photo.
I'm a PJ set type of person.
You are.
Can we talk about the 2 different types of people? I am a PJ set type of person. I've had a bunch of old.
What's the other type?
I mean, just not PJ set, I guess. I feel good when I have a matching set. I'm going to just throw it out there. I'm going to just say it.
And I'm the type that I will get a pair of sweatpants and I'll wear them every single day until they're like absolutely falling apart. And I have no shame. No shame at all.
I have those too. It's okay.
Yeah.
Taryn and I had a whole discussion about this, and we basically decided we don't want to focus too much on the quarantine scenario. We've talked about it. So there's that.
Yeah.
But we definitely don't want that to be the focus of this podcast. So hopefully this could be a little bit of an escape for you guys.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and divert from the whole quarantine subject and just continue on
have a normal episode.
A normal episode.
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like we've had a lot of like I don't remember the last time an episode was just like a normal one. Like it was like we did the Bumble one and then we've had guests and then so it's like
there's been a lot of things going on.
Yeah. So I was kind of excited that we both were like, hey, like bring a story, like we're gonna record. You know what I mean? It was kind of like exciting. But yeah, I just wanted to say, Ash, I've gotten so many comments, even from your mother.
No.
That everyone loved my sound effects.
No, what?
And I just want you all to know, she positioned the thing so it's not facing me, and she just put her hand over them.
It's never been facing you.
Well, stop trying to deny me.
I'm not denying you anything. It's always been facing me.
Yeah, but like...
I do it on purpose, if that's what you're pointing out.
Anywho, okay. Charlie's finally sleeping for anyone who's keeping tabs, so we can finally get into our episode.
Yay.
The kids are asleep. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay.
So I was scrolling through all of the emails. Again, I don't know. You know what? I'm just one more time. I know everyone's home right now.
Yeah.
And I am going to think, I'm just going to go ahead and assume that that's the reason why we had like a surplus of
so many emails. Yeah.
I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and like couldn't find the end of where the last time I had logged in was. So I wish I could read them all. I might, there's nothing else better to do.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
So this might be my reading for like, the foreseeable future.
I don't know about you, but like sometimes I've been like this, even with Instagram posts, like people will comment, like a ton of people will comment. Mm-hmm. And it's really hard for me to respond to someone and know that I won't be responding to all of them because I always want to be fair. Like, I don't know if that's like the two in me or what, but like I want everyone to feel like heard and good. And so I know in my head, like if I go on and I respond to comments and then go off, there's a good chance like I'm not going to see the rest of them. Mm-hmm. And with the emails, sometimes I start to get very overwhelmed because I'm like, there's thousands. Like, you guys, I'm not exaggerating, like thousands. And I'm not going to be able to read all of them. And so then I start to get overwhelmed because I'm like, everyone's going to think I hate them.
Yeah. I remember when I first started uploading videos, I started to feel that way because I thought I had to respond to every single comment.
Yeah.
And I also didn't want to be the type of person who didn't respond to comments at all. But at a certain point, you simply can't, especially if you're pumping out multiple videos a week.
Yeah.
And if, the numbers start raising on views, then it's like you simply can't. So what I started doing was I would allow myself like 30 minutes to respond to comments.
That's a good idea, yeah.
And I actually kind of liked that because it went from me responding with an emoji or like a yay, thanks for watching kind of thing to an actual very intentional response that was actually directed to that person.
That's cool.
And then, once my 30 minutes was up, I was like, okay, I'm done.
That's cool.
And that's just kind of how I ended up going about doing it. But, to is their own. Also,
to is their own.
If you want to just
not respond,
answer all of them, you can. If you don't want to respond, you can. That is your choice. Anyways, that was a random side.
You know, Ash, it's quarantine season.
It's quarantine. We're talking about everything.
We say whatever we want on this show.
Also, how's the corn fling going on?
I don't have any corn flings.
Neither do I.
None whatsoever.
I got so many comments of people being like, corn fling, I love that.
Yeah.
I'm going to make that happen.
It's
and I was like,
joke.
good for you.
I'm like, hi. I have been DMing like crazy.
Guys.
Because I'm bored.
Yeah. Not only did, people think that you work with a brand and the brand's deal's over and then that's done. Taryn and I dove into the Bumble app.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, okay, well, like, here we go.
Yeah.
And we've been like on all dating apps and trying our best and nothing is happening.
No.
And we're bored out of our minds.
And I'm like,
this is the time.
Excuse me, Joshua. What else are you doing right now? Why can't you respond to me?
This is the time to have like just conversations.
I even turned my notifications on because I'm that much like, I just want to have conversations. Just talk to me, anyone.
Talk to people. Jeez.
I'm a social butterfly.
A social butterfly who has been caught and is in a
I turned back into a caterpillar. I've reversed. I just need attention.
Metamorphosis.
And then I'm just trying not to bother Ashley too much. I'm trying to reserve it because I know how needy I can be. Mm-hmm. So yeah,
if I had to say I've learned something since living with you, It is that you are a needy, and I've known that, but it's like, I've never been more aware of how similar you and my mom are.
Yeah.
Like they're both, for background, both my mom and Taryn are Enneagram number 2s.
Yeah, 2s to the core.
Yeah, and they both have a wing 3. Yeah. Which is really funny. And 2s are just the most loving, like the most doting, the most caring. You will feel so much love being around them. If for some reason you don't reciprocate that in any way, whether it's intentional or not, they freak out physically and want to make sure that they did nothing wrong and that you're okay. And I could simply just be thinking of something else, or I could be tired or whatever, and she'll be like, "Hey, you good?" And I'm like, "No, I'm fine." But
you know what is like gotten so much better is I think you've realized how easy it is to like snap me out of it. Yes. Like before I'd be like, "Hey, are you good?" And she'd be like, "Yeah." And then I'd be like, oh my gosh, like dying on the inside because she'd be quiet and weird. And I'd be like doing like little things like, oh, look how funny this is. And she'd be like, yeah. And I'd be like, oh my God.
I've also become very aware that fine isn't an answer.
Yeah.
Even though it is in my head. But it's really not. So I need to say more than just one word answer. So I'm working on that.
No, you're honestly, Ash, like the picture of growth recently.
Dude, 30 did something to me. I like snapped into this whole like you need to freaking man up and just like start taking control of all of these things that you need to work on, Yeah,
no, it's so good because I'm the type of person like if you just look at me and say like, hey, I'm good. I'm just like having a little bit of a moment, but like I'm fine, then I can recover easily. Or if you did something horrible to me and I'm upset, literally if someone just goes, I'm so sorry, I love you, I'm like, oh, no, I'm sorry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think you're starting to realize how easy it is to shut my annoying self up and you're getting better at it. And I withhold, girl. You don't know. You don't even know.
Oh my gosh.
I could be way worse. Just ask my brother.
Yeah. Oh my God. Living together has taught me this. And then also quarantining together. Has definitely made me more aware of like how I respond to people and how it's important that I choose the words. Basically, guys, Taryn is preparing me for my future husband.
No, every interaction Ashley has with someone where she's like, yeah, and then I was realizing like he's kind of needy, so I'm going to need to do this. And I always look at her and I'm like, you're welcome. No one will ever be as needy as I am. So you're welcome. True.
I'm learning a lot, guys. Taking notes.
Yeah. Taking names.
Lots of growth. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get into the story. This one was something that kind of caught me off guard. Wasn't prepared for it.
Oh.
It wasn't anything like we normally get. Kind of just different. And I thought it was refreshing. And yeah, I just thought it would be a nice change of pace for, the whole quarantine thing. And then also just from the normal relationship stuff that we normally talk about. So
mine's different than relationship too. We didn't even talk about this.
Look at that. I love when just everything aligns. Everything aligns. Okay, guys, the title.
Look who's calling you right now.
Is it my mom?
Yep.
She called me.
She sensed
I called her earlier and I told her, I was like, she was doing something with her small group and I was like, hey, no worries. Like, I'll call you back later. She's like, no, I can call you right after. I was like, no,
I'll call you.
She's calling me.
She's so cute.
What a 2.
Hi,
okay.
Mama.
So Ash.
Yes, Taryn.
I don't know like when this started happening, but this whole like subscription box thing is like a game changer for me.
It literally makes my day every time. And I'll tell you why. It's because I completely forget that I got it.
That's the best part.
It's not something that you purchase every time. It just like, it genuinely surprises me when it shows up at my door.
I freaking know.
It's like Christmas.
And guys, we have one today that's partnering with our episode from Causebox.
Our favorites.
It literally was so dope. It comes 4 times a year with your subscription, and it's for women by women, and it's filled with so many things that are like products, different kinds of brands that are ethical, sustainable, and have a positive mission to give back and make the world better, which, that's like literally right up our alley.
That is exactly what we need right now, too. Every single Cause box is limited edition and comes with 6 to 8 full-size products, ladies and gentlemen. Let me say that again, full-size products, none of that mini stuff. You can get everything from skincare and jewelry to homewares and accessories. The last 4 boxes sold out within days, which, I mean, it kind of makes sense because you literally get $250 plus worth of products for only $50.
I know. And I don't know about you, but one of my favorite things in the box that I just got was this cute little file folder, packet thing. I'm describing it so horrible. But it's if you go into a meeting and you're I just need to bring a couple papers, it makes you look super
it's
bougie.
A divider / organizer. Yeah. It was a really nice leather. It was pink. I got a jade roller, which you guys know how I get about my skincare. So I was all about the jade roller.
And it's great. So when you guys get your Cause box, it feels like you're getting a giant surprise and they ship it to you for free. So get on it. And it's something you can also get as a gift for other people, which is really cool.
Yeah, this is actually the best time to be subscribing to these things because you don't have to go anywhere. It's coming straight to you. Also, you can make someone's day, not even tell them, and sign them up for it, which is super cool too. You guys know that we always think of you guys whenever we collab with anyone. So just because you guys are unsolicited listeners, you get 30% off if you use the code unsolicited. That's right, 30% off using code unsolicited. That's UNSOLICITED. You can get your first box, which is worth $250 plus for less than $39 and free shipping.
Go to www.causebox.com/unsolicited and check out Causebox right now. I can tell you firsthand, you are going to love it.
Okay, so my story for this episode is meditation could have gotten me ... killed.
What?
Yep. And in parentheses,
is this some weird Ouija board
stuff? Scary / embarrassing story.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go, guys. Getting into it. Dear Ashley and Taryn, I'd like to start by saying a big thank you, all caps, for being so cool and amazing and hosting such an awesome podcast. I absolutely love Unsolicited Advice. You've both made me laugh and cry. Laugh and cry? That makes me happy. Yep. That makes me happy.
I laugh and cry at least 30 times a day.
She does. I try everything possible not to cry.
Oh.
Laugh is fine.
Yeah.
I just finished listening to your episode on how not to get murdered, in parentheses.
Hey.
I'm a little behind, LOL.
No, love that though.
And it reminded me of something scary that happened to me recently. Now, I'm a paranoid person by nature. Girl, same. So I knew most of the tips you shared in the episode. All excellent, by the way. But this event that I'm about to share reminded me that even the most cautious person can slip up sometimes without even realizing it.
Uh-oh.
While it's good to be vigilant, I've also come to realize that I need to extend myself a bit of grace when I mess up and be thankful that in the end I am safe and nothing bad happened.
Yeah.
That said, on to my story.
Oof. I was like, why are you pausing? Keep going.
I needed a breath. I recently started a daily meditation practice, and so far, things are going really well. But a couple of months ago, I had a very awkward / scary moment that I wasn't even aware of because, well, I was so zenned out, I didn't even realize what had happened until later. Let me explain. I was sitting on my couch one afternoon in my cross-legged meditation position with my earbuds in and a guided meditation playing. It was a long one, 42 minutes, and I was really into it. 42 minutes is a long time.
I don't think I could meditate for 42 minutes.
I have a hard time focusing. So, a good 10-minute, 15-minute one is long enough for me. So 42 minutes is a long one.
But I also don't think I've ever really tried.
I think, well, we've both done... We did a breathing one together.
Oh, yeah, that was dope.
And that was a long one, but that was also like in person with someone, which is different.
And well, she said it's a guided one because ours was very like, she was like, now think of this, now do this, now
ours
whatever.
was guided, but we were there in a room with her. It's different when you're home by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like trying to work out at home by yourself when you're not in a gym surrounded by people that are motivating you to work out.
By the way, I have not worked out once in quarantine. I really thought today was going to be the day that I worked out.
What if I train you?
Oh God.
Wait, can you let me train you?
Why are you saying this in front of all these
people? Because I would
Ashley?
love to.
Because now if I don't, I look stupid, Ashley.
No, I want to so bad. Let me do this.
Okay, but can we have like
I'm
a
literally
safe word?
giving her dagger eyes. I'm just like,
can we have
a
a safe word if I'm like ever like I'm in a bad mood and I want you to stop asking me and I don't want our friendship to be over?
No, but I promise.
Pineapple.
Fine.
Okay.
Pineapple.
Okay.
I promise it'll be a good one. It'll be fun.
Okay. I don't want our friendship to end because
I'm doing so good. We don't want to ruin this. Okay. Wow. Digress.
Sorry.
Back to where we were here.
Which was
I always meditate with my eyes closed for added concentration and focus. So I was completely unaware of my surroundings. My baby was sleeping and I always keep the doors locked at all times when my hubby is at work. In parentheses, she adds, yep, I'm a paranoid and unapologetic.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
You should never be unapologetic for being paranoid. You should have seen us. We literally quarantined like 5 days earlier than we needed to.
Yeah, seriously.
So I wasn't too concerned about my lack of unawareness outside. Plus, we live in the country on a dead-end road, so hardly anyone comes anyways. So I assumed all was well. My guided meditation wrapped up, and I went on with my afternoon. Fast forward a few hours, and my husband comes home from work and goes into the front room and says, "Oh, I see my parcel has arrived." Confused.
What's a parcel again?
Parcel's package.
Like a package? Okay.
Confused, I asked him what he means. "It's a big box sitting right here in the entryway. Didn't you sign for it?" Shaking my head, I leave the kitchen where I was making supper, and I go into the main entry room, and I say, no one came by all day. He replies, "Well, the parcel's sitting right here inside the door, and it wasn't there before. Plus, I noticed strange tire marks on the driveway, so someone was definitely here. Judging by the parcel, it looks like it was UPS." I stood there for a good minute looking at the parcel and racking my brain as to how it could have gotten there, and then suddenly it dawned on me. While I had been in my deep bliss, peacefully meditating, the UPS delivery person had obviously driven up, knocked on the door, gotten no response, and then, in all caps, opened my front door, which was bizarrely unlocked for some reason, and set the parcel inside. The worst part is, they would have definitely seen me sitting on the couch cross-legged and sent out because there's a huge window by the front door that is in direct eye line with the couch. And I saw and heard absolutely nothing.
Wait.
That literally freaks me out so much.
Oh my gosh.
They can't do that.
Illegal.
They can't do that. That was 100% illegal. And if the window was wide open, then he walked up, saw her sitting on the couch, opened the door, and put the package in.
They need to report that guy.
Yeah. She continues. After that, I probably freaked out for a solid 10 minutes as my overactive imagination started thinking of all the horrible things that could have happened to me. I probably don't need to go into detail of all the scenarios my brain came up with, but suffice to say, they weren't good. Thankfully, I can now laugh at it. The hubby teases me about it a lot, and I'm grateful that nothing bad happened to me or my baby. But I will always wonder, why didn't I hear anything? Why was the front door unlocked? How could I have been so stupid? And what must that UPS delivery person have thought? I'll never know. Anywho, that's my story. Thank you for reading. I attached a picture of me and my little family for you because it's always nice to have a face.
Oh my gosh, I have a picture too. I want to see.
She adds at the end, "Stay safe, everyone. Lock your front doors and always meditate with one eye open."
Dear Lord.
Rebecca. And here is her photo. Hold on. We're buffering. There we go.
Oh my gosh.
Aren't they cute?
Look at their beanies.
I know, but how terrifying.
Okay. First of all,
I would have destroyed UPS on social media.
No, there's
a
few things. Okay. One, she's a mom with a baby in the house. So obviously it's not like she had noise canceling headphones on because every mom is like super aware, like, oh my gosh, like,
like
is
she
the baby
probably
crying,
had some
whatever.
Apple headphones on.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it's
nothing
like,
crazy, like, whatever. So if I've never in my life heard of a delivery man opening the door.
Yeah.
But if he did, that means that he literally peeked his head in and went ahead and put it in anyways, instead of being like, hello, is anyone there? Because I'm sure she would have heard a man in her house yelling.
Yeah.
So that's weird.
That's what I'm saying too.
That's illegal.
Terrifying. That's very illegal. And creepy.
What would be his reasoning for doing that?
Being weird. He doesn't need a reason. He's weird. That's weird. That's what I think. That's my summation.
I don't like that at all.
I would definitely email. Well, how soon was this? This was a couple months ago. You know what? I don't think it's too late. I would write a letter. I would write a strongly worded letter
email
that is not okay. Whether it's UPS or
and
FedEx
then make
or
him
whoever.
deliver it to his boss.
Oh, that's so good. Rebecca, thank you so much for sending this in. First of all, I'm super sorry that happened to you.
Weird.
That is so scary. I definitely encourage you to take like the proper steps to making sure that guy gets told that that's
who
not
knows how many other people he's like going in and like, maybe that's like his thing. Like he's like
it.
Watches people.
I don't like it. If he's like, why is he comfortable doing that?
No, it's weird.
It's weird. I don't like it. I definitely encourage you to, do something about it. But also, I really appreciate you writing in the story because I'm sure there's people that need to be aware that stuff like this happens.
Lock your freaking doors.
My doors are always locked.
My doors are always locked. Sometimes I lock my bedroom door too, and I feel guilty because I'm like,
I lock mine all the time.
You do too? Okay, fine. Then that's great.
That's what
great. All right, cool.
Helps me sleep better at night,
I don't all the time because like, I'm like, what if someone has to come in or what if,
Yeah, we do have a lot of dogs that tend to like bed hog.
Seriously. Seriously. It's like an animal house over here. Hey guys, we just wanted to take a second to just say thank you for being a part of our little Unsolicited Advice family.
We love you guys so much, and it would mean so much to us if you would rate, review, subscribe, and share our podcast. Spread the word, spread the love.
Yes.
Give advice to everyone. Advice for you, advice for your mom, advice for your friends. Change the world. Help us get the word out there. And that would mean so much to us. And back to the show.
Okay, this one is titled The Fake Fainter.
Ooh.
I know. What do you think it's about? Just kidding.
I know.
Okay. She writes, hey, I'm ... but keep me anonymous. I had to put ... because I knew I would read it on accident.
Yeah.
Obviously, here comes the part where I say, I love you guys, and I definitely love listening to you.
We love you too.
Dude, honestly, I don't know when it started, but like, I love how they're all like, okay, here's the usual.
Here's
like,
the spiel, yeah.
Where you guys like dote on us first
so
because
cute. We love it.
I'll take it
goes
anytime.
Straight to our heads.
My love languages are physical touch and words of affirmation. I'm looking at Ashley because I'm like, she should know this.
I should know. I should know that by heart.
Yes. Tell me, love me. Okay. What the episode where you mentioned the Enneagram songs, I got so excited. Thank you, Ashley.
Girl, you're welcome.
I'm a 3 and I connected to my songs so much it made me cry, which same. I was a mess when I heard mine.
Yeah.
I have to sneeze. Holding it in. Where does it go when you like suck it back in?
That is the big question.
Do you ever like, there's been times where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I don't go to the bathroom right now, I'm going to die. And then 5 minutes later, I'm doing something and I'm like, where did it go? Like, where is it?
I don't know, man. I have no answers for you.
Anyways.
Such a weird tangent. Can we please bring it back to the story?
Okay.
Poor Anonymous.
Okay. Also, I discovered this podcast like a couple months ago, and I'm determined to go through the whole thing in order. So I'm not even completely up to date, which I
love that. I love people like that. I love when you start at the beginning, you just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
I love that we keep having new people because that means it's not just like 10 of us that just keep hanging out with each other.
Definitely not 10, but yes.
Though we do love our day one. Shout out day one.
We sure do. OGs.
Okay. I'm halfway through the episodes and I'm constantly listening to you guys during this quarantine, girl.
We're
I
her
feel you.
corn
We're her-
fling.
Corn fling.
Yeah.
Corn friendship fling. Corn.
We could be called a corn
Sure.
fling.
Okay.
Just roll with
Let
it,
it go.
Taryn.
All right. I'm okay. To each his own. This intro is hecka long, girl. You could talk about us all day.
Hecka.
But I also wanted to mention my best friend is totally an Ashley, and I'm definitely a Taryn.
Get out.
So basically, you guys are the coolest people ever.
Doppelgangers?
And she said, I'll send a pic of us because why not? And I'm dying because she wrote on the picture.
Which one?
And she pointed to her and said Taryn, and the other one and said Ashley.
That's so cute.
Aren't they cute?
Oh my God.
I adore it. This must have been like a dance or something.
They must have
so
gotten,
nice.
yeah, it must be some kind of
Y'all are gorgeous.
event thing.
Okay. Now finally into the story. I love musical theater. I'm not laughing at that. I just cannot talk. Okay. My high school has a super good theater program. So many people audition and it's very difficult to get into the shows. It's a big deal. Were you ever into theater?
Yeah, girl.
You did?
Yeah, I mean, I quit in high school
Oh, yeah.
because I joined drumline and that took over my life.
Yeah, you did. I never did like a full blown like play when I go older, but that's one of the things I regret because
Me
I
too.
feel like I would have thrived.
I had a lot of friends that did it, and I remember. Tell me why this happens. Get out, Karen.
You know everyone else.
I literally had to fight not to join in. Anyways,
Tell me why.
Taryn, tell me why. It doesn't matter what age you are. The second you want to do something, you convince yourself that you're too old for it.
Yeah. Actually,
Yeah.
I have the opposite problem. I probably should convince
like
myself
the second, I remember being in 5th grade wanting to do softball and being like, oh, I should have started earlier.
Yeah, but that's
I remember joining, trying out for softball in high school and being like, I should have like actually stuck with it.
Well, it doesn't help that there's always those people that have been doing it since birth. Travel ball and blah, blah, blah.
And the same thing with theater. Like I did it all through school. And the second I went into high school where people were a lot better at it, I remember being like, oh, I really want to do it.
Yeah.
And then just being like, oh, no, you're not, there's no way you're not good enough. You haven't been doing it long enough.
No, it's true.
When it's like, we're the same age.
Yeah. And then
There's
you hear
no
those
difference.
people, like I remember one year, did you ever get into that show So You Think You Can Dance?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, love that show. But there was one year, there was like someone that got really far who had only been dancing like 6 years. Like dance was a newer thing. So it's almost like I do wonder a lot, like if I would have actually like stopped making excuses and just like committed to something, like what I could have done.
Yeah, and the same thing
'Cause
with
I
instruments.
taught myself out all
like
the time.
I took guitar lessons, I took piano lessons, I took voice lessons, I took drum lessons. Drums were obviously the only thing that stuck, but like nothing's stopping me from learning picking up guitar again or picking up piano again. Like why can't I do it? And in my head I'm like, oh, you're 30. You should have been doing this whole time. It's so stupid.
Maybe we should teach each other. You teach me drums and I'll teach you. What do you want to learn?
Piano.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't offer things you can't do, Taryn.
I didn't offer you piano.
You were like, let's switch.
I could help you with guitar.
I mean, so could Alicia.
Okay.
I literally have no reason.
Fine. I'll just teach you how to be freaking cool.
Okay. Okay. Low blow. Anyways,
Low blow.
get back to your story.
Okay. So I came to know this interesting girl. Oh, because she made it into theater, which congrats, girl. She gets to know this girl. I knew her a little previously because she was in my theater class. What I first noticed about her was that she had more boyfriends in 1 month than I've ever had. We all know those girls.
That sums up my entire high school.
Oh my gosh.
Experience.
Yeah. There's
Everyone but me.
I remember this one time, this one girl was like, I'm so jealous because like I can't even talk to a guy without him asking me out, and you can just like just be friends with them and they don't bother you.
I had the exact same
I was
situation.
like, yeah, it's so cool.
I remember her being like, I think I'm going to take a season of singleness. And I was like, screw you.
You're like, bro,
Leave.
I have lived in this season.
Leave.
Yeah, I hate that false modesty thing. Okay. Oh, and she's like, which is not hard because I haven't had any, but I'm talking to someone, so maybe I will. Hopefully I will. JK, I don't need no man. Me.
Love that.
I'm like, oh my gosh, he's flirting with me. I don't need anyone, but I love you. Get away. It's like no in between. Okay. Throughout spending time with her, I noticed she was always trying to get attention. I heard that she faked a food allergy and used someone else's EpiPen. And if she had a serious allergy, she would have had her own, right? Which, yes.
Yes, I do know a lot of people that don't carry that stuff
My
with
friend
them.
Sam, and I'm calling him out so hard right now because we argue about this all the time.
I was there for that.
A severe allergy, and I feel like when you say you have food allergies, it's always one of those things that it's not that you don't take it seriously, but because you've never experienced it, it seems like foreign.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like for him, we knew he had this allergy, but then Ash was there. We went to dinner one time and he took like a bite of his food and then all of a sudden he shot up and ran to the bathroom. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, he's being so dramatic because I didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
And then he came back and we had to bring the chef over and be like, what? He ordered just like a simple chicken dish. But then finally the chef was like, oh, I make my pesto with pecan. I never know how to say it. Pecans. And then Sam was like, looked at my brother and was like, you need to call 911. And then my brother ended up like rushing him to the hospital and it was like really scary.
Yeah.
But he never carries his freaking EpiPen with him. And it blows my mind.
That was terrifying.
Yeah. We get in fights about it all the time. He's like, oh, it's in my car. I'm like, okay, cool.
It's not helpful, bro.
When you're dead, I'll be like, his car would have been helpful.
I can't wait to very passive aggressively just send him this podcast episode.
I'm going to be like, hey, have you heard our last episode? Maybe we shouldn't say anything and this is a test if you listen.
Oh, doubt it.
He's going to fail.
I doubt it.
Or maybe he won't. Anyway, so that's one thing I want to say. Like, I know people like don't always carry it. And also I do know that you can give someone like someone else's EpiPen. They don't advise that you use it. But in an emergency situation, it will at least like slow it down. Because like paramedics carry EpiPens and it's not like they're specific for people.
No, epinephrine's epinephrine. And it's,
it might be like not the right dose or whatever. But yeah, so I'm just saying because she's like, I don't, right? Like that's weird. And it could be, but it's hard to know. If she was faking it, that is a lot of commitment because I'm sure that did not feel good.
No.
Going into your leg or whatever. Anyways, when we got into dress rehearsals the week before the show, this girl was always saying how she was feeling lightheaded. We would tell her to drink water and rest. One night, she actually fainted and fell back from her chair onto the ground. It freaked everyone out. An ambulance came. She was passed out for a really long time, and everyone was worried and crying. Her current boyfriend was so freaked out, and our director sent us all home, which was definitely necessary, but unfortunate because we really needed to rehearse Act 2. And I know what did she say? They're like a week out from the show. That's like
that's really
time.
close. Yeah. That's when you're like just repeating the whole show over and over again to get it ingrained in your head. Because
I've worked tech crew. Okay. I've worked tech crew for multiple shows, and it is amazing how much like you'll be going through like tech rehearsals and the show is a hot mess, and then it's literally like 2 days before the show somehow magically stuff starts to like fall into place. So I'm sure like at that point they're still like, oh my gosh, we have so much to do, and then now like we're having to go home. And anyways, later my friend told me that her cousin was actually there working in the ambulance, and he said that this girl wasn't behaving like a normal person who's passed out. Like it seemed like she was faking it. Ooh. I know. When they said they were going to the hospital, she woke up and she said she was fine. Now, I don't know for sure if it was really fake, but after that, I had a hard time fully trusting her. So many people were worried, and our rehearsal was canceled all for this. And if it was fake, that would be very sad. I want to believe the best, but I don't know. I've heard she has a lot going on at home, and everyone has their own issues, so I feel bad that she needed this attention. Later, she pretended to pass out again backstage with only a couple people around, so it wasn't as big of an ordeal, but it was still alarming. Now, I could be wrong about all of this. Maybe she wasn't faking anything, but things aren't adding up. Our dilemma was whether to tell the director what we know or just not to say anything. The show is now over and we ended up not saying anything, but what would you have done? I just tried to be nice to her through the rest of the show, and we wanted to tell someone because we thought maybe she needs help. Anyways, what do you guys think? Also, and then that's when she sent the picture, but I put it up forward.
Got it.
So, that's it. But it's very interesting to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you want to share your thoughts, and then I'll share kind of like what I prepared.
I think it's really hard to assume stuff like that.
Yeah.
With people.
Yeah.
When it comes to health and mental health and physical health, everyone has a different story. Everyone has different backstories. It could have been not necessarily a physical health problem, more of a mental health problem. It could have been a very big multiple series of events that led up to her freaking out if it was fake. I think in these kinds of situations, it's almost always better to just kind of like take the high road and not say anything. If for some reason an opportunity presented itself where you and her are having a good talk, you're having a little heart to heart and you feel comfortable being like, so question, like,
like, is there something
in a roundabout way, then that's when I would probably bring it up. But I mean, it was probably annoying as hell, but the truth is she didn't actually hurt anyone or do anything to warrant being cornered, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. And this is coming from a passive 9 who's like, confrontation, no thanks. Yeah. So that's what I would do. And I would just keep an eye on her. If for some reason she continues to do stuff like that, then I would call her out. Yeah. But, I don't know. It's really hard when it comes to health stuff. Yeah.
Well, and there's like so much that could be going on. I was looking up because it reminds me of like, I always don't know if I'm saying this right, but Munchausen's disease. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, that's right.
And it's where you like people who fake like injury or illness for attention. Mm-hmm. And something, I know I've said this like in one of our first episodes, but something that I learned that kind of like changed how I view things is it's like this theory that people would do better if they could. Mm-hmm. So like every time someone's doing something, even though you're like, this is so crappy, this is so messed up, instead of seeing it as you're doing something so crappy and so messed up, it's seeing it as like, obviously you're lacking a skill or like you're coming from a place that is not causing you to do what the right thing to do is. Yeah. So I think like stuff like that, when people are acting out of like needing attention or, if she is faking, the commitment of stabbing herself with an EpiPen or laying on the floor pretending to be unconscious for so long that like an ambulance has to come. If she really is doing these things, then obviously there's so much of a bigger thing going on. So I think the best thing you can do is to, yes, pay attention, but to also, just realize that she's seeking that. So I always tell, like, even with kids, like kids will seek whatever attention they can get. So if they're used to getting in trouble, then they'll act up to get negative attention, because even negative attention is attention. Right. So sometimes it's kind of trying to like retrain someone to crave the right type of attention. Yeah. So I would go out of my way to, like Ash said, to just, out of the blue walk up and just say like, hey, like, how are you doing? Like, let's sit and talk. Like, how's life? Like, what's a couple things that like are great in your life? What's a couple things that like I can, like pray for you for, or like be here for you for if like you don't pray, but just kind of like seeking out time to like give her unwarranted attention, like just like out of the blue, to hopefully help her to like see like, oh, people do pay attention to me outside of that. If she is faking, it's hard to like, you're not we're all not doctors. We don't know. But yeah, I would definitely not act in a way of like, oh, she's passed out on the floor. Like she's probably faking. Let's just leave.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But also like, it's something to just like pay attention to if there's ways you can help outside of those incidents.
Yeah, I think it's really hard. I think typically with stuff like this, and this is assuming that she is making all of this up, usually stuff is really bad at home, or stuff is, it just, and I'm not saying that's what's happening, but there's usually a lot of stuff that's going a lot deeper than what you're actually able to see at the moment.
Yeah.
So, if anything, I would try to just be a good friend to her.
Yeah.
I would be extra nice. I would keep an eye on her, make sure she's okay.
Yeah.
If she continues to do stuff like this and it becomes more apparent that she is lying and probably seeking attention, then I would just distance myself from her.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot to take on as a friend, and you might not be in a place where you can handle something like that.
Yeah.
So I'd be careful getting too close. But then again, she could also be going through some real health issues as well. So definitely keep an eye on her, but protect yourself too.
Though, it is okay. I remember being that age and a lot of things where I was concerned about people, but I was so afraid of being known as someone who like told that I didn't say anything, that now I look back and I wish that I would have said something. And I don't think it needs to be like, if I were you, if you really are concerned about this girl and you really think that she needs help, what I would do is like in a very discreet way, like outside of rehearsal time, like go talk to your instructor and just say, hey, I don't want this to be repeated. I want to be clear that I don't know if this is true, but be like, there has been talk that she's faking some of these things. And if that is the case, like, I'm worried that she's not okay. So like, as the adult, like, I just wanted to let you know so you can keep an eye on her. But again, I don't want to be involved. I don't know if it's true. Like, I want to like really like emphasize that. But, I know in high school, like, I knew a friend was hurting herself, but I was so afraid of like saying something that it went on
for multiple reasons.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
So I think as long as you're not doing it for like the drama effect or because you're annoyed and you want her like to get talked to, but if you really have that concern, there's nothing wrong with like going to an adult and just saying, hey, you might just want to have an eye out for this because I just want to make sure she's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, I would like not tell your friends you did it. Like I would not get involved past that. But I think, we talked about it even with this whole quarantine thing. Like there's times where you really do need to be that person that's watching out for someone else. So you just got to kind of pay attention to see like if that is what this type of situation is.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks, Anonymous, for sharing your story. And I think it's really brave of you to keep an eye out and look out for her in this way. So that's really cool of you.
Yeah, give her some love. She might just need some
all
extra
need
love.
some of that right now.
Yeah. No,
the
seriously.
whole world needs some of that right now.
Yeah. Great.
Wow.
This was great.
This
was
great.
like a normal
Such
episode.
a
I'm like
really refreshing episode for me. I'm like, we're back on track.
Oh, did we forget something? We were supposed to do something else.
I know. Did you happen to have a dad joke?
Is that a joke?
I wasn't sure.
Is that a joke?
Yeah, I just wasn't sure.
I'll do a couple because why not?
Because quarantine. That's been my answer for everything. If I'm acting weird, quarantine. If my room's a mess, quarantine.
Yeah. Every time
not dieting right, quarantine.
Ashley, can I finish my sentence?
Sorry, I was on a roll.
It's quarantine. Don't spit your water. Spit take. Okay. So every time like one of the people in this house will be like, I'm so frustrated because I didn't do this or like I did this or whatever. I always am like, guys, we're going through a very intense time in our lives that like is literally going to be history.
I know.
It's okay for us to have some off days. Like
also,
that's okay.
Can we just take a moment to reflect on the fact, me and Taryn, I mean, I think all four of us are very driven people.
Yes.
That's a fact.
Yes.
And we're getting a lot of work done, even though we're stuck in the house. Fact. But we are currently, Taryn and I, living with two very type A people.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I'm just going to say that it is really hard when you just you just need a break. Everyone's binging TV shows. I freaking wish.
Yeah.
The judgment that would come my way if I sat down in the middle of the day and like put on a show. And I know I need to just like.
We need to work on it. Did you notice the other day? Like, okay, so another thing. We're all like trying-ish to be healthy.
Yeah.
It's hard for me.
Yeah.
Not because I can't, but just because like I am much more the type of person who's like, especially now, because I'm in this very healthy state, which I would love to like dive more into another episode maybe.
You should.
But I'm in this very healthy state where I'm wanting to better myself, but because I love myself, not because I feel like I need to fit a mold.
For sure.
And that's one thing I've noticed with health stuff is I've been so afraid of like, almost like I put my friends in this mom and dad role. You know what I mean? Like where I'm like sneaking something. I don't want to disappoint. Like I want to pretend I have it together. They're going to be disappointed. And I like finally reached this place where like the other night I was like snacky and I was like, oh, I want those. Like, I just want a couple chips. And I immediately was like, oh, I can't let them see me eat the chips, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like, girl, you are 32. Like you are the one that lives in your body. Like you're the one who needs to make these decisions for yourself. If you want to eat the freaking chip, go eat the freaking chip.
Yeah,
like,
that was me yesterday. I was in a mood. I was like, you know what? I'm frustrated. I've been eating my freaking chicken salads and 0 carbs for the entirety of this quarantine.
Yeah.
Oh, except for one night every week do I get my cheat meal. And yesterday I was like, I don't care. Freaking degaff. I went to the pantry, grabbed the last bit of my mint Milanas, which AKA are my favorite cookies on the planet, and I ate them in front of everyone. And everyone was like, degaff Ash, da, 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 da. And I was like, that's right, crunch.
Yeah. It's just, it honestly, it really is all about balance. And if you're doing something to the point that you are unhappy, it's not, to me, that's when like unhealthy habits come.
Yes.
And resentment and whatever.
We should talk about this in a future episode for sure. Because
I would love to.
I just feel like diving into it right now, but we can't because we just did a whole episode. Yeah.
No, I want to record a video where I like talk a little bit more about it, like on my Instagram or something. But like I would love to do just an episode about this too. Mm-hmm. But also, you guys will have them on very soon, and we can talk about all the roommate stuff. We should just have like a freaking balls to the wall, like honest, roomy discussion.
Oh my God, you guys, all the drama.
Yeah, that's what people need to talk about.
People do, especially us.
I've heard, someone told me, or maybe it was a DM I read or something. Oh my God, that was my stomach. I did not just fart. I just want to clarify if anyone heard anything.
I did not hear a thing.
My stomach just like yelled at me. It was
I didn't hear a thing.
Okay. Anyways,
people in their car right now are just like, what just happened?
They're like, rewind, turn up. I don't know what I was talking about. Oh, someone was saying how we talked about like a fight we had, and they were like, it was so cool just hearing you like talk, like people don't talk about that stuff.
Yeah. Again, guys, I don't know what happened. When I turned 30, something just clicked into place, and I was just like, I need to do better. Yeah. I basically sat my 30-year-old self down, metaphorically. And was like, Ashley, freaking pull it together. Like, you know that you need to do better at this. Yeah. You know that you need to do better at this. This, made a whole list. I had this whole, like, the second I turned 30, there was like 30 minutes before midnight, the night before I turned 30, I sat down, journaled. It had been a while, I'm going to be honest. Yeah. And I just like dove into all of the issues that I've had during my 20s, throughout my 20s that have led to different things. And I was just like, Ashley, freaking step up. Yep. Do better. It's hard, people.
No, it is hard because, and I think what like we've talked about before, like for me, relationships are so easy because I'm constantly thinking about the other person. Yeah. And that's where it's unhealthy, is that I don't ever think about myself. Yeah. Whereas for you, like you get very much into the like, well, this is realistically what just happened. So I don't understand why this emotional person is like crying. Right. So it's more of like you having to change what feels natural for another person. Yes. Which you are not. I mean, that makes it sound like you don't think about other people. I'm telling you right now, you are such a selfless person and you love me so well. But in those specific ways, it's hard to go outside of like, oh, well, this makes absolutely no sense to me. Like clearly she has no reason to think this, but I'm seeing that she is. And so I'm going to address that. Yes. And that has been like so cool seeing you do that. I mean, it's great for me because I'm so much more emotionally
this is a win-win stable.
For you. But it's been cool, like even in hearing how you talk to other people, you're like, yeah, but then I stopped myself because I realized all they needed me to say was like, oh, I'm so sorry. You know?
Yeah.
It's just cool. I freaking love humans.
I just had an idea.
Okay.
And I realized that we're just like rambling here, but I don't care. Quarantine.
We're literally just sitting in a closet talking to each other.
I just had an idea. We should do an episode that's solely focused on you and an episode that's solely focused on me.
Ooh.
Like the good, the bad. Like we talk,
my gosh,
we
and
dive in. We freaking dive in
We
on
can
Taryn.
poll. We can poll. So it'll be like, everyone say questions you wanted to ask Ashley. And so I will just be on social media that day.
Yeah.
So then I can ask you.
Yeah.
What if no one wants to ask questions to me?
They want to ask questions for both of us. But it would simply be like just diving into like
I love it.
you.
Like
and
hard
me.
questions?
Yeah.
Good
Good ones,
girl, I'm gonna make
easy
you
ones,
squirm.
funny ones, hard
Okay.
ones, all of it. That'd be interesting.
I freaking love it.
Oh, I'm so
Okay.
excited. Anyways,
Dad
guys, let's get to this dad joke and let's wrap this up.
There's a
'cause-
couple. I'm going to start with a Star Wars one because me.
Right.
Oh, I feel like you're not going to understand this one,
No,
though.
it's okay. Give
I'm
it a
going
go.
to say it anyways. How did Darth Vader know what Luke got him for Christmas? Do you know who Luke is?
Yes, I know who Luke is.
Okay, I'm just checking.
God, she thinks I'm 12.
Clearly not, because if you were 12, you would have watched Star Wars.
Get out.
Okay, how did he feel?
I don't
I
know.
almost said the line.
Just go.
He felt his presence.
Okay.
Do you get it?
Yes,
It's like
I get it.
so good. Okay. What does a zombie vegetarian eat?
Not brains.
Grains.
Brains.